again, and Sako and I are here again today to get this book finished. We are so close to being done, so we are going to do some writing sprints today, chat a little, write some more, do all the things that we usually do about getting weird with words. So, we're going to get started right after this. As I said, it is time to write. Sako and I are almost finished with this book. I'm so excited. I want to say hey to everybody who came out, especially over the weekend and did our 10,000K push. That was so much fun. They were long days, but they were fun days. And it was nice to be able to just kind of like get the huge push out on this book, because it's made me like really incentivized to just like finish the last little bit. But first, before we do anything, we are going to go ahead and have Sako do her introductions.
Howdy neighbors, I'm Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things. So if you are interested in videos that pertain to marketing for authors, I have a whole playlist of them on my channel. And it's not just me, it's other author tubers as well, to include our lovely BC Brown. And on October 22nd, during the World Write-a-thon, BC will be joining me along with Del Ciceruno, and we'll be talking about marketing for authors then too. So you should drop by sometime. I'd love to see you.
Absolutely. You should definitely do that. Sako has a lot of great advice. On top of that, whoever else she's collected other than my marketing stuff on her playlist, I haven't.
Yeah, like the Courtney Project, Heart Breathings, Sir Cannon, Lisa Daly. I've got a handful.
Yeah, so you definitely should go and check that out, because it'll be a wealth of information. And come and see us in October.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can, have fun, chat about writing, do some good stuff. So we're a little early today, and I understand that, but we have Debbie here this morning. Good to see you, Debbie, as always. We are, as far as I know, we're still going to be working on Project Flambeau jointly today.
I'm gonna be working on the series Bible and kind of like editing as I go.
Cool. So I am kind of doing the read through, like quick line edits that I catch.
Yeah, me too.
If I need to change a word here and there because we've used it too frequently, repetitively, whatever,
yeah.
All that kind of stuff today. That's more or less what I'm doing. I finished up what I think was the last scene I was working on, which apparently I stopped mid sentence even during the weekend 10K, and I was like, where the hell was I going with this scene?
Oh,
I didn't even leave myself a note. I usually leave myself a little note, even if it's just scribbled down on a Post-it note. I'll leave myself a little note, don't forget to finish that scene, and or leave yourself a bullet point for this is what you intend to achieve, and I was like, why didn't I do that?
Why didn't I do that?
I was sitting there on yesterday's morning stream on Twitch, and I was like, what was I doing with this scene? It was one of those between Justicia and Iris scenes, and I was like, where was I going with this? I finally remembered, but it took me a good, two sprints, I want to say, because I was just kind of plucking plucking outwards, and then I was like, where was I going? And, I was like, I remember. I was so excited by the end of the second sprint. I was like, I know where I'm going.
It only took me two sprints to get there.
It only took me 40 minutes, but I finally figured it out. 40 minutes is nothing as far as author writing in the middle of a project, at the end of a project, like 40 minutes I feel like is nothing to like regain your train of thought sometimes.
Indeed.
So, for inquiring minds that want to know, we managed to pull 66,583 words out of our hat when our 10K weekend was actually originally just designed to get us to 50,000 words, just to get us there. Because we thought we were going to need that much. And then we ended up writing enough in the weeks leading up to the 10K weekend that it pushed us well up over the 60,000 mark. And I think we ended up like 65,000 something at the end of the
750, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And we ended up, this week we've been able to do some more work on it, obviously in our downtime and other streams and stuff like that. And then plus Sako's been putting a ton of work in on the Bible, which is all productivity, and it's writing productivity that we didn't have before because we kind of skipped putting a Bible together.
So
which is weird for me.
I'm also re-outlining the book as I go so that it includes the new scenes as well. And I'm hyperlinking everything in the outline so that if like you want to look into a character that has to do with that scene, it'll link to their entry.
Yay, that is amazing. That's something I never thought about doing before, honestly, in my Bible.
I thought about like how useful wikis are and what makes them useful, and then I'm applying that utility to our series Bible.
Yeah, that's totally cool. I love that. I'm gonna make a note of that, actually. Let me bring up my... because that is such a... Alright, that is a note to be doing on my future Bibles. And maybe to go back through on some of my existing stuff and do. But yeah, I kind of got that idea when, I don't remember who it was in the chat, but said, are you guys doing a wiki? And I was like, oh yeah, we hadn't thought about doing a wiki. But
I had definitely thought about it, but I feel like there's a privacy to Google Docs, even though you're collaborating. And we can send the edit link to our readers if they find an entry that we didn't put in, or they find information about something that we didn't catch, or something like that. They can plug it in while they're reading.
Yeah, makes absolute sense. I like that. That's a good idea.
Hi, Mallory.
Yeah. What I find weird is again, hey Mallory, I didn't, usually I am so put together with my Bible, right at the beginning, everything, all my character profiles, all my brainstorming, everything goes into it right at the beginning. But I think it's because we were just so excited about the project.
I like that we are waiting until we've got stuff solidified to do the Bible. I thought about featuring the previous drafts in the Bible, but I think it's best just to have finalized content in our series Bible.
Yeah, that does make total sense, because
especially if we're going to be referring to this content when we're doing book 2, that way we're consistent.
Yeah.
If we end up cutting a character, then we end up cutting a character.
Yeah, I like that. I definitely like that. Excuse me. I don't think we're going to have to cut a character, which is nice.
Yeah.
Usually, there is almost always in every project I have one character that ends up getting cut. They don't do enough to progress the story. They were just there for filler, or they were just there as kind of a a tool that propped up some scenes so it wasn't just always one-on-one dialogue, because
Mm-hmm.
I have a bad tendency to just to focus in on one-on-one dialogue and not do group scenes very often where there's, you know, three or more people in a scene. Um, so, but I'm happy to say I don't think there are enough in this, and
I think they
everybody that's
prop up
in
enough
there,
of the plot.
yeah, they give enough, they give enough seed, like they lay down enough breadcrumbs for things, and they propel the plot. Even if they only show up once, they do propel the plot, because they either lead the MCs and the sub character and the side characters to like to the next step of the plot, or they link up to an organization that somebody else kind of comes in at another angle for later. So it just gives like the, hey, this thing exists and I mentioned it with this person. And then also a couple of them, you know, we've looked at seriously at carrying them into a second book.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is cool. So I think if we're ready, we should probably go ahead and do a sprint. And let me bring up a timer here.
Okay.
What do we want to do? 25? We've been doing 25 lately.
25 is great.
Okay. Let me see.
HK
We're gonna do it.
HK's timers are 25 minutes.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go out to. Okay. Did not bring her up weirdly. Let me just go into my follow list. There she is. Ms. HK. Oh, does she not have... I could have sworn she had a thing of just timers. There they are.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Belly, be quiet.
Are you rumblies?
My belly is like, I want breakfast.
Brecky, 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 brecky. Her sprint timers are private, though. Oh, wait. No, she's got some that are... Wow, my computer's doing all sorts of weird crap. What's the one I want today? How am I feeling today, in other words? Let's do this magical book one. This looks nice. Let me make sure I'm not going to have any stupid ads. There we go. Okay. No stupid ad. We are good. As we got Inception for a second. There we go. Hate doing that. I'm almost considering like expanding out my monitor setup for like a third monitor, because lately I've just been finding myself needing a third monitor here and there. All right, I don't think I got enough matcha in my tea this morning, but that's it for me. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a 24-minute 59-second sprint, and we will get started right now. Beepity beep, beepity beep, beepity beep. All right, the end of the first sprint. How'd y'all do? Hope pretty well. Cool. Awesome. I love the end of HK's timers. They all say, I knew you could do it, or way to go. They're so positive at the end of it. I love it. It's just so great. So I just started from where I had started at the end of my Twitch stream yesterday, reading through. Oh, excuse me. That stretch came out of nowhere. Everybody stretch!
Everybody stretch!
Because Sako and I are... I thought that was going to be like a little light, like, correct my posture stretch, and did not end up being that way. But yeah, I just started basically right there where I left off, and just added a couple of words here and there. So I didn't... I forgot to write down... I said how many words we had at the beginning, but forgot to write it down. So I don't know how many I ended up doing, but we are at 66,661. I wish I'd written 5 more words.
Yeah.
Wish I'd written 5 more words. Like, damn it! That would have been fun. But yeah, I just added a couple sentences here and there. I shot you that quick message and just said, in Messenger, and just said, hey, I named a little side wallflower character because it made sense in the moment. Because I realized we had put in a character that our main character, Daisaku, would have probably known the name of and been able to say, instead of just saying a young woman held out a folder for him to grab on his way out, it was a young woman he recognized as the captain's assistant, Libby, held out a folder, because it's one of those things. He's frequented that place often enough. While he's not the most social creature in the world, he would have gotten the assistant's name. He's at least polite. And he is more or less a detective. I mean, he's a bounty hunter. So he would have gotten names and things like that. You make note of things when you're kind of in that profession. You're like a journalist. You're always like tucking away information, or like a writer. Always squirreling away information, usually when you're in like law enforcement or emergency services or in the fields related to. So we had a few folks pop in during the chat. I got to go back quite a bit because we had a nice, lovely conversation about shaving off all of our hair, etc.
I'm due for another shave. Like, whoa.
Well, we know I'm still growing out my undergrowth from the mohawk last year.
I'm not growing this out.
I know you're not. You just haven't gotten to it. It's okay, though. It's not
I'm
like it's
hoping
getting
to do it today.
When it gets to that fluffy phase, that's the problem. You're not at a fluffy phase, so you're good. It's
I
like
think
when
I
you start
am.
looking
I'm just like constantly...
You're lay down, damn it!
Lay down,
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah. So it was Ben chat popped in and was asking what the chat was about. Also brought up the whole shaving heads and if it would be done for like writing a book and stuff like that. So we discussed that back and forth. The fact that Sako once shaved off all of hers and still shaves her sides. Obviously I had my mohawk last year, but I've also shaved mine off twice in the past. And I don't know that I'd write a book about it, but I was definitely saying that a series of essays or blog articles on the experience would be cool.
Really, I started with a side cut, and I liked the tactile feel of the peach fuzz so much that I wanted my whole head to feel that way.
Yeah.
That's why I shaved my head.
But still have some hair to play with if and when you want hair.
Well, I do that now, but when I shaved my head, I was just like, take it all.
Go! I want a gun! Yeah. Ginny popped in. Always good to see Ginny.
Hi, Ginny. I'm glad that you have a computer again. Yay!
Yes, so glad. Ginny was saying that they shave their undercut because their hair is so thick that it gives them headaches, and that way they can have the look of longer hair without all the heaviness.
Agreed.
It's easy to conceal. Most people have no idea that last year my hair was, shaved on the sides like Sako's, and super, super duper short. Like, when my hair is down, no one has any idea. When my hair is up, it's very noticeable. Christina popped in.
Hi,
I
Christina.
love seeing Christina. I like Christina's Jenny. All right. So Jenny got her Scrivener opened, and that's it so far. I'm working on fleshing out chapters for book 2 today, and waiting for the plumber to come. I get a brand new kitchen faucet today.
Nice.
That's nice. It's always nice when you get to like improve something in the house you've been wanting to improve for a while.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm gonna just lose my shit if my laundry room ever actually gets done like the way we want it. Right now, it's just got it. There was an add-on to the house anyway, and so it's really really rough in there. And we just like threw we have a stackable washer and dryer. We just like threw that in there, and that's essentially it.
Yeah.
It's like it's got still exposed wood and like all this stuff, but Debbie dropped off the Minions. Always good. Mallory is trying to remember what was popular back in 2006, trying to not remember how long ago that really was. Really, I mean, 15 years. It's a long time. 15 years is a long time.
I graduated in 2006.
Oh, you're so young.
No, I graduated from college in 2006.
Okay. I was going to say, I was like, you're a lot younger than I thought, Sako. But,
I'm pretty sure we're mostly the same age.
Yeah, I graduated from college before then.
I went to college
a few
late.
Years.
I went to college late.
Okay. I have gone to college late. I look like I'm currently back in school, and not that I've been able to like be on campus, but I can only imagine people are gonna be like, this old lady out here on campus, what the hell is she doing out here? So Christina made coffee, put pants on. The little one says, "Hi!" Right in your faces. I love the Bailey child. Christina, she's so sweet. The kiddo's so sweet. Gonna be spending the day cleaning, putting everything in closets and out of the way because, bug bombing the house. Oh, fleas. House is pretty much clean, so not much to do. Yeah, fleas are rough. They're really, really hard to get rid of. We don't really get them here in Arizona. One, most houses don't have carpeting. It's usually linoleum or hardwood or like stone, like flooring. But it's so hot and dry that we really don't get them. We get ticks really badly. So we had to watch those. And then we, of course, get scorpions and fire ants. So those are our big things that get, like, bug bombed for. Oh, yeah, we must be the ones who feel comfortable. As far as shaving heads, there are a lot of women that... I support anybody that wants to shave their head, but especially women or feminine presenting that want to shave their head and still present feminine. It's, women have been valued. We've been valued for our long hair for ages, especially women of color. That was like prize commodity. So any woman that just wants to just shave it all off and rock the masculine look of it, which I don't even think looks masculine. I think it like enhances a woman's femininity to have like no hair at all, in my opinion. But yeah, we're all pretty damn confident here, Ben. Pretty comfortable and confident. Jenny's glad she has a computer too. Nicer to improve something in the house when you don't have to pay for it. That is true. That is true. I do miss that. I miss that a little bit. We bought last year, and I love our house, and I love being able to do whatever the fuck I want, and it actually get improved when I want it improved. But I do miss just calling up the landlord and saying, this is broken, come fix it. Mallory graduated high school in 2004, which makes it even more scary.
I was class of 2000.
Yeah, I don't really remember. Yeah, we are like the same age. I mean,
I went to college
90s,
in 2003. So I was like, I went into work right after high school and then decided I didn't want to do retail anymore after 2 years of it.
That was me. I took the time off deliberately. I had gotten married, I had moved, a bunch of stuff in my life had changed. And
Hmm.
so it was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a little time off. Plus, my husband was like finishing his degree because he was several years older than me. And so we kind of waited so we didn't, because I didn't want to take out loans and stuff. We were paying everything out of pocket. And two college kids out of pocket at the same time. Yee. Don't feel old, Jenny. I'm in the 90s for graduation. Don't worry. Not 92, but you're not old. Christina's just,
She's the
it's
baby.
she's the baby. She baby. But we love her. Oh, so Debbie said that's when she graduated from high school. See? I love how some streams I'm the oldest in the chat, and then on other streams I'm the baby. No, Christina's the baby. And then when we get CB in,
Oh yeah.
not yeah,
Well, CB.
CB friends, CB friends.
Oh, Friends. Yeah,
When CB
Friends is
friends
like
pups, it
18 or 19
she's
now.
18 now. I think she just turned 18. I think so. So it's like, it's always funny when she comes into the chat or comes into a stream, and I'm like, oh, the real baby's here.
The real baby's here.
Oh, in 2006 is when you go. Well, then definitely chime in on what was popular your senior year of high school, because I don't really remember 2006.
The recession.
That is true. I was working my ass off. I was going to school.
I was
3
trying
jobs.
to work my ass off, and people thought I was being too picky about jobs when I was just doing math. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, the recession and how hard it was to find work.
Yeah. It was pretty bad then. I was fortunate that my then husband had finished his degree, and we had started our own business. The business wasn't like thriving, but it was doing okay. And then I was working kind of 2 jobs to support the business a little bit, and keep us going. They were crappy jobs. I'll admit that. Like, one was waitressing at a strip club, and then another one was I was working at Walmart doing the traditional like retail crap.
Mhm.
But yeah, and then I was going to school, so I don't even remember most of like the mid aughts. Don't remember most of them. Yeah, CB definitely the baby. Yeah, there isn't a thing when you click with people. There isn't like a thing with age differences. I have one of my like closest friends in the world is a woman in her late 60s. And we hang out all the time, like all the time, and spend a ton of time together. And with the exception of she's got some arthritis that slows her down a little bit when we're out at activist marches and stuff like that. She's got the same mentality as I do. Like, so yes, we love CB. So sweet. Mallory agrees. We the tribe. 2006 was a mess, but I'm much better now.
What sect of Buddhism, I wonder? I was raised Buddhist, so what kind of Buddhist are you going to be? What kind of Buddhist are you, should I say?
Yes. Yeah. What kind of Buddhist are you? That's pretty cool. Palazzo. I remember palazzo pants. Large shades were on trend. Pink was a big color on guys because of Usher. Bless Usher for ushering that in. Pun intended.
Hi, Laura.
Hey, Laura. Good to see you. Everything was popular in 2014. Everyone had their own style and stuff. It's hard to pinpoint as a teen what was popular. So 2014, I remember kind of being more of an 80s trend. Like we had gone 80s again. Now we're back to 90s.
And 90s. Like people were having 90s themed parties.
True.
And it was early 90s, right? So it was like neon colors and side ponytails
Oh,
and
side ponies. Yeah.
yeah.
Now it's like mid to late 90s kind of trend, which is kind of fun. Cuz I'm like, I was like, "Ooh, yay, we get to relive the 80s, which was my childhood." It's like, "Ooh, now we get to relive the 90s, which is my teenage years." I was like, "I remember the fashion from those."
I like what I wore in high school was uh, BDUs and like band shirts or vampire shirts, depending. The black
Oh,
t-shirt, basically.
lots of vampire shirts, but I was very in the 90s. I was the goth kid.
So
So
was I.
I was
I
very, very goth
my
in my very, very rural country town.
my
Like,
yeah. Yeah, my dad used to call me a German punk goth
mm,
because I had
I didn't hit
the round shades and
the little round shades. I have the little round shades now. I get so many compliments on them. Everybody's like, "Oh," and they've got little red tinted lenses and everything, and everybody's like, "Where'd you get those?" I'm like, "Amazon." They're like 15
Amazon.
bucks. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I've got like 8 pairs of them, and they come in all different colors and all different frame colors too, which is cool. And Christina made fried chicken last night, and just walking into the kitchen, fully cognitive, and there are little greasy cat paw prints on my counter. That sounds about right. I walked in. I walked into the kitchen this morning to a devoured succulent. Normally, they don't touch the succulents. Like they leave all the plants on one side of the counter completely alone. Like they just it's on it's actually on the stove side. They leave the ones that are under the grow light that we have on that side. They leave them completely alone. So usually we can put the succulents and the things that are slightly like toxic to animals on that side. I am fortunate the one that they went after was not toxic. So I was like, because there were like 4 sitting there that are extremely toxic
Hmm.
to animals. And we put them there because that's like our isolation point, because the cats don't go there. Like they just don't go on that side of the counter for some reason. They usually don't get up onto the counters, like where we prep our food and all that stuff, um, unless they are watching us fill up their water, like fill up the water jug or fill up their water bowl. That's the only time. Like a Spot will get up there every time, and like he has to oversee me filling up that water, make sure that bowl is clean. I don't know. He has to watch me wash the bowl and then fill. It's a thing for him. But they usually don't go over there, so I was worried. I was like this morning, and I saw it devoured like on the kitchen floor, and I was like, oh no, please don't let it be one of the toxic ones. And it wasn't. Yeah, it's also the fact that I haven't been maintaining the cat grass very well, and it's not doing well. So like cat grass weirdly doesn't do well with added humidity, and we add humidity to a lot of our plants. And I moved the cat grass from where it was so that they would have to hunt for it and like indulge their instincts. And so I don't know. They also were just little assholes yesterday because cats.
because cats.
Okay, yeah, because cats. Okay, we should probably do another sprint. We've chatted a bit. See if we can get some more words. I can't get it any closer to the 25 mark than that without triggering an ad, it looks like. So we will just do that. And we will get started on this sprint. Started now. Beepity beep, beepity beep, beepity beep. All right. How did everybody do? Again, no idea how many words I wrote per se. Well, I do. I now know. So, now at 66,719. So, let's do a calculator, because I don't do the maths in my head. Alright, so, wrote a grand whopping total of 58 words that time. But, since we're just plucking in and adding words here and there as needed, I'm not expecting us to have, like, decent word counts today at all.
I'm also noting that I'm using the name more often than the girl or the woman or him. So I'm going from 2 words to 1 in a lot of places. So there's that to consider as well.
That's true. That is true.
I am taking words away.
Yeah. So, yeah. And we're going to do that in a few places. Like, I know I took out a couple of words in one particular sentence because there was a double negative in the sentence. But then there was just a stronger word, like a single word, than 2 or 3 words to put in that sentence.
Right, exactly.
And again, we're good on word count, so it doesn't hurt anything that we're taking a few words here and there away. So I think that's okay. Quick question, so I don't have to swap over to the Bible and everything really quickly. Where did we decide where Daisaku was raised? Like where he grew up. I know he was in and out of the system after his grandmother died.
I want to say he was from the DC area, and then he went out there to live with his grandmother, question mark.
So he was well, the main reason I asked is because I'm at where you added Lee Sang-hoon was the one that trained him to use his powers.
Right.
As a kid. So
right.
I just wanted to see, because yes, he's the DC lieutenant now for the council, but 20 years ago, he probably wasn't a lieutenant. So I just wanted to add that he was just a lowly mage, working with the council in whatever place that was. No, I was just going to add that little bit of...
Well, he was based...
story
that works with the DC area being his origin story. Then it's just a matter of coincidence that I was thinking DC for Daisaku. Daisaku's youth. So, and maybe when Lee goes to LA... But he doesn't.
No, he becomes the DC lieutenant. Because with what I wrote initially, Lee Sang-hoon was maybe not born, but at least raised from a young age in Georgia, because he has a Georgian accent, despite living in DC. So... later, it really depends what we do with Lee later. For a book 2, if we do a book 2, we'll have to come up with some reason to get him to LA if we go back to LA, but I'm assuming we're going back to LA. So, or at least the Southwest or West Coast with him. So,
did you just get a hate raid?
I just got a hate raid. I did. Wow. That was...
You just got a hate raid.
Weird. You can barely hear me, Kibby? Well, let me adjust some volume.
I hear you just fine. but
Yep. Every so often I get hate rated. Like,
I might be loud
I'm,
because this thing.
well, your mic is a lot closer. My mic is, I mean, it's my big Yeti mic that doesn't get very close to me because if it does, I peek out a whole bunch. Yeah. Yeah, I got hate rated. It happens. It's all good though. Let me see here. Oh, so Christina, back to the chat. Christina was saying that their cats are are on the counter, especially if there are treats up there or they're doing something, anything, all the time, which is a cat owner's bane. Like, it's just a thing. But they wipe down their surfaces before and after using them, so it's okay. Yeah. And I was just saying, mine are mostly content to just sit on the trash can at the end of the counter and like monitor what we're doing. They rarely ever actually get up there, but they have a whole back counter that we don't do food prep on. The only time it gets used for food is like if we have like a bunch of people over or something like that and we have to like lay out a bunch of food. And then they are well aware they're not allowed up there when there's food on that counter because they have had the water bottle after them a lot. So Ben was saying they had a little bit of tech gremlins for a second, couldn't type anything, but they are a Zen Buddhist. Zen Soto. So Japan-oriented training and psychology, I'm guessing is what that is.
Philosophy, I think.
Philosophy.
I was raised Nichiren, so there's that.
I do not know enough about Buddhism. They're
both Japanese. They're both Japanese.
Yeah, I mean, I know Zen Buddhism, just rarely, and I've heard of yours, but I don't know much about it. I do know that they're both Japanese, though. Debbie finished a comic page. Kibby popped in, got breakfast, and 291 words with the late start. That's because you are a beast, Kibby. I have seen your word counts. They are impressive. I'm moderately jealous. Debbie got the pencils. Thank you for letting me know. I was so engrossed in what I was reading, I barely checked the chat on that particular sprint, so I'm glad you guys did. But I was able to, hate rate every so often. I get hate rated on YouTube more now that I also stream on Twitch, I've noticed. Especially since on Twitch, one of my tags is often LGBTQ+, because, well, one, I am, and two, I've been working on Project Flambeau, and we have LGBTQ+ characters in the story. So, yeah. Oh, Jenny got breakfast, chatted with daughter, so no work yet. Not the productivity I was hoping for, but at least a good morning. That's true. That's okay, though. But, you gotta do life stuff sometimes. Ooh, sent us a DM. Okay.
Oh, yeah, the modness of the hate raid.
Yeah.
It just took a minute to get to us.
I like this. Gross. I only saw the last part, ick. I didn't even bother. I saw the thing and saw that they had posted like 15 times in a row and was just like, yeah, that person is just, that wasn't part of the chat we were having.
They spelled out a slur. They spelled out a slur. So.
Well, I'm glad I got it taken off of there fairly quickly. Yeah, you don't own the house. You're just the roommate to the cats. I'm not even the roommate. I am literally their servant.
I have breakfast coming, la la la.
Breakfast would be nice. My partner is home today, and I smell coffee, which means they've made themselves some coffee. And if I'm very, very lucky, it means I have bacon coming soon.
Ooh.
Because usually when they're home, they make bacon for breakfast. So I'm kind of hoping. I can't guarantee I'm getting it. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good sprint in general. So I will just kind of add in that maybe the reason that Lee is so powerful in DC and has so much political clout is because he has worked his way up from the streets of being a lowly mage into the council to become the lieutenant.
Okay.
So, yeah. Ooh, bacon. What's for breakfast, Sako?
Eggs Benedict.
Sounds so good. I haven't had that in ages.
Yeah,
I
me
don't think I've had
either.
that in like 2 or 3 years.
I'm trying to get more choosy about what I order on DoorDash.
Mm,
Like, what's something that I won't make at home? Eggs Benedict. I won't make
yeah,
eggs Benedict at home.
it's kind of a pain to make, so that's understandable. Okay, how we doing on? We're good on time. We could definitely get a
We can
whole
do
nother
another
25
sprint.
minutes. Yeah, we could do a whole nother 25 minutes. For some reason, I was thinking it was like already like a little past the hour. And I was like, oh, we're going to have to do a shorter sprint. But no, we don't have to. I'm going to have to like fix this shaft of sunlight that this time of year just hits me right here. And then, of course, when it off my woohoo, BC could land planes at night. Look at me. Woohoo. I got some glowy. Yeah. Okay. It's hilarious too. It's hilarious because people are like, "You are so pale. You live in Arizona. How is that a thing?" I'm like, "You don't understand the amount of sunblock I wear. Big floppy hats. The amount of sunblock I wear is insane. Like I wear a sunblocked moisturizer, sunblock itself, sunblock in all of my foundation if I bother with makeup. I wear big floppy hats. I have a parasol that literally, if I go from the car to the store, parasol, you know. And I tend to still wear, even though it's hot as out here, I tend to still wear somewhat long sleeves outside, plus my gloves. The only time I go out in the sun deliberately is when my freckles are starting to kind of fade a little bit. And I want a blast of some sunlight to make my freckles pop back out. Or if I have psoriasis and eczema, which sunlight helps with that. So I'll go out in the sun deliberately for those reasons. Gibby deliberately officially hates us both lovingly for our breakfasties. Kibby's eggs Benedict with bacon, absolute fave. Yeah, we have a lot of redheads in our family. We're redhead dominant in our family, and a lot of blondes. We do have like we have like a weird shot like through with like people having jet black hair. Like my bio dad had jet black hair. Only one of his biological daughters had got the jet black hair. Weirdly, and her mother was a redhead just like our mom, but we got two redheads and a blonde out of it. So, but my mom's a redhead. We got a whole really dominant redhead family. Oh, thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. We try. I mean, we try. Mine are green. Mine are
Damn.
green.
I did your eyes blue. I was like,
That's okay. That's okay. It's no big deal. My oldest sister has like the green blue. She's got more of the green blue. Our middle sister, she has like green brown. And then I'm the only one that got our mom's like green eyes. Our bio dad had the prettiest blue eyes. He had like that ocean water, almost like a turquoisey blue. They were really pretty. None of us got those, not really. My oldest sister was getting the blue greenish look, got closest. But yeah, green. A lot of people draw me with blue eyes though, because it's not common in redheads. It's actually pretty rare to be blue eyed. It's rarer to have brown eyes and red hair, but it's the stages of red of having eye color. Green is the most common. So.
food is almost here.
Oh, green eyes, red hair, unique coloring. I am lucky. Yes, we are very Irish. We are Irish on top of Irish on top of Irish with just a smidgen of some French thrown in, like just a dash of it. My aunt and uncle on my bio dad's side of the family, they do genealogy, and so we have our we have the patriarchal and matriarchal side of that family, like traced back for a couple hundred years. And then my mother's side of the family, you just can't miss the Irish surnames and all the Irish looking folk. Laura's trying to nap for lunch, but Roy is spastic. Oh, well, that does happen. I would like to nap. Nap would be good, but I just technically woke up. Debbie's a blonde with no freckles, and little sis has dark hair with freckles. Yep. Ooh, Sako must be getting food. Her food must be there. Kibby, the curl in her hair comes from Irish, missed out on the coloring. I don't have much curl to my hair. I have some waviness, some natural waviness. My mother has super curly hair, like super curly. And the blonde got my mom's curly hair, but the two of us that are redheads, my oldest sister has like stick straight, can't hold a curl to save its life kind of hair, and then mine is kind of that weird in between. But our mother has like a dark auburn hair. She's not as strawberry blonde as we are. It's just weird. Hair is like, it's weird. Genetics are weird. The genetic split. Yep. Well, it's like my niece has brown hair and brown eyes from my blonde-haired, brownish, green-eyed sister, and my nephew has bright blonde hair and bluish eyes. So yeah, and my niece is like a darker complexion, and my nephew is more really pale like I am and burns easily. Jenny has to run. Plumber's there. See you later, Jenny. Glad you could come out. Got curls in your hair, Debbie. Yep. Oh, I'm sure I'm sure. I'm convinced that the more I look into my family's lineage, especially if you're from anywhere in Indiana and Illinois, a smidgen of Michigan, then I'm somehow related. Like when I got divorced and moved back home and started taking care of my mom, and then I decided I wanted to start dating again, I had to like ask for people's like whole family lineage to like for 3 or 4 generations to find out if I was related to them before I could start dating them. I just got fortunate, not related to my current partner, but their grandmother did go to school with my mother. So there's that. They did know each other very well. Family came from Northern Ireland, referred to as the Black Irish. Yeah, they're often referred to as Black Irish. But we're probably related. Everybody Irish is related, I think. Like, we're either married in or anything. Okay, so we do have enough time to do another chat. Sako might probably be back here in just a second with the food-wise. You got your food?
Mm-hmm.
Take it? Uh-huh.
Yep.
So I figured, I was like, ooh, the camera went off quickly. I'm guessing the food's there. Food and a fluffer. Aww, he's a puppy. God, look at that face. She's like, all right, I'm just gonna allow this. She does this to me. I'm just gonna allow it. Well, you have food now. She's gotta definitely come see you.
No, she's wholly uninterested in the food. She just wants to be on my lap.
Oh, well, try not to drop any food on her while you eat. It'll all be good. Yeah. Yeah, it's a small island. And lots of people moved away from it and blended in. So, fur baby, she's so sweet. I just love her. She's beautiful Himalayan cats. Ever since I saw Homeward Bound as a kid, I've always wanted a Himalayan.
Yeah.
Just because of Sassy.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had one, but I've always wanted one.
They're expensive.
Debbie says that, I know. They are, I know. And I'm more of a rescue the kitties. But I'd still buy a Himalayan. Debbie says my grandmother was adopted, so it makes finding anything difficult. My ex-husband's father was adopted, and their orphanage actually burned down. I think when they were adopted when they were 12, and their orphanage ended up burning down when they were like 17 or 18, and so they lost like everything. My ex-husband knew nothing about his dad's side of the family. Yeah, I mean, you could at least find DNA. You could at least find out DNA test, but you could plug in, into um, one of the genealogy sites. You could at least maybe plug in what you do know, like if you know anything at all. Sometimes all it is starting with just what her original last name was before she was adopted. A friend of mine did that in high school, and he ended up finding he knew at least his birth name, and with his birth name he was able to it was able to actually like trace him back, and he did find his biological mom at one point, and kind of found some more information about that side of the family. I guess she had died in childbirth, and there was no family left to adopt, so, or left to take him in, so he had been adopted. Some of them find family. Yeah, that's true. A little too common. Well, oh yeah, that's a common one. That's hard. If you're looking through Irish or Scottish, it can be really hard to find, or German sometimes. It can be really hard to find family with that name.
Well, like, if I have the name of Davis, right? Which is extremely common.
I mean, come on, I'm brown. I know about a common last name. Know about common last names. Like when I switched from my married name back to my maiden name after I got divorced, people were like, "Why? Your married name is really distinct." I said, "Well, that's one reason I'm switching back to it, because my married name is very distinct, and if you say it and you're from the Midwest, people know exactly who you're related to." I
Oh.
was like, "And I'm not related to them anymore." I'm
Hmm.
like, "I'm not married into the family. We didn't have children.
Yeah.
So I don't." And I said, secondly, it's also really hard to spell and nobody can figure it out. And people think it's two names instead of one. I was like, I might get the wrong pizza every so often with Brown as a last name, but nobody ever asks me how to spell it unless they rarely say, is that Brown with or without the E?
Mm.
Because sometimes it's spelled with an E.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Spain is very unique. It is actually very unique, and it is very easy to spell. Okay, let's do another sprint because we have time. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have time to do another sprint. That'll give us time to wind down just a little bit. Hopefully, we can get a couple more words in. So let's go ahead and get this brought back up and get started in 3, 2, 1, sprint. Beepity beep, beepity beep, beepity beep. All right. That's the end of the last sprint. And I didn't really count words at all. So, like, I did nothing of the sort as far as counting words. But I know I didn't probably add more than 20 words because they weren't needed. Again, yeah, just reading through, there were a couple, like, little grammatical things that we missed, but, like, that's what line editing is for. Like, right before kind of a thing.
Yep. I
cool.
put a couple of entries into the more than a couple of entries into the series Bible with content
Cool.
coming across lots of minutia that we included about Justicia and Daisaku. So they have a file called minutia, and all the little tidbits that we mentioned that we never access again, like
his army training, his army time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That is cool. It was perfect timing too because my laptop just totally died.
Oh.
Which is what the sprint timers have been on. So I knew it was going to. It gave me a warning. It doesn't hold a battery. It doesn't hold a charge for shit. It's so old. My poor MacBook is so old. I think it's like 11 or 12 years old. So it is pretty old computer wise. It's even old for a MacBook and for a Mac, and they last a really long time.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, doing more of that stretchy thing. I'm all sorts of stretchy today. Okay, let's see. Oh, Rialto popped into the chat and finished their thesis. Finally. It's so cool, so cool, so cool. I'm so excited for you. Ben was mentioning, piggybacking off of me talking about my divorce earlier, that they're about to divorce, but so they can become a monk, but it's a friendly divorce. And I was talking about, friendly divorces are kind of rare, but I'm glad Ben's is. But sometimes lives in pursuit of goals just diverge. And I'm pretty sure you can't be married and be a monk, be a Buddhist monk. I'm pretty sure. That's probably one of the things. But yeah, and so they're getting the chatty out now because they're also not going to be able to do a lot of socializing. And that they've started to kind of donate furniture, living more minimalistically, meditating a lot, got rid of their attachments, I guess, with the wedding photos and stuff like that. I guess that would be emotional attachments that would cloud your clarity. Yeah. Be 1 in 6 months, but they're things towards the lifestyle. Oh, you don't have to donate something, but you can if you want. That's cool. So Kibby says 679 words, more of chapter outlines than story writing. Wow, that's a lot of outline. Like Sako's and my outline methods are like, here's 3 bullet points, and they might have 2 sentences in each of them.
Yeah.
We're really minimalistic with
those bullet points
beats and bullet points, unless we need unless one of us had a vision in our head when we had the bullet point idea to go in there, and so we plugged in the little bit of dialogue or plugged in the little bit of scene or whatever.
Yeah.
So Christina is getting great things done today. House is clean, gonna work on school stuff until Mr. Poe wakes up.
Nice.
Nab those times when you can. When the partner is sleeping and the kid's not in your way and you got stuff out of your way, do it while you can.
And you became celibate.
Yep. Yeah, I knew that was one of the requirements. So I figured you couldn't be married unless you just had a marriage that was totally asexual, which would, be okay. Skippy's still here, but taking coffee, getting smoke break. Those are important. And Rialto wishing Ben a good new path. Gibby has a hard time jumping between third and first person, so they write write through it once and then use it as an outline to write in the right person on all the details. That is basically what I use my zero draft for, is just doing the word vomit and not caring about the tense and things like that. And then first draft becomes where I go in and clean that stuff up and then start adding more stuff.
I write in present tense when I'm writing in notes, and I write in past tense when I write content, so that I know the difference between my notes and my content.
Yeah. I try to be that diligent, but sometimes, I'll swap between them. So for me, it's just that the zero draft for me, once I get the beats put in, the zero draft is just where I can just word vomit. Tense doesn't matter. First, third person, I haven't even really decided at that point. I got to get a feel for the taste of the story first to determine if it needs to be written in first person, third person, past tense, present tense. Although writing in present tense is just hard. But I really got to get a feel for the story first. I just, like my first two books in the Metaphysical Chronicles series, those are in first person. They're in first person past tense. But the book I'm working on now for the same series is in third person, because when I started writing it, I tried writing it in first person initially to keep the same continuity through the series, and it didn't work. It just it was breaking the story. So Christina can't vacuum yet or do major things when the house is sleepy. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Rialta's bad at remembering what tense they're writing in. You could do. I've seen some writers that every so often they'll just literally type third person idiot, and then they'll third person idiot, and then they'll go down and start typing again just as a reminder to themselves. Bonnie, hey Bonnie, we are wrapping up. Like, we literally got to go in less than 2-3 minutes, but I'm glad you could say hi. Glad you popped in anyway. All right, so we worked on Project Flambeau, which is Sako's and Mai's collaborative book project we've been writing for the last year on streams together and with community involvement from the chat. And today it was just fleshing. Sako working very diligently on putting the Bible together for it, and me just going through and just combing through it and reading carefully, reading slowly, and
me too,
to see if I could catch anything that needed to be caught or added to, or where I needed to make a note for Sako and I to consider later, stuff like that. So we didn't get very far into it, but we did wrap up, and we did take some words out, reduced down and made sentences more concise and more clear, but we did wrap up today at 66,748 words.
Nice.
So far. So we are getting there. We're almost done. We're getting there. Okay, Sako, why don't you go ahead and tell folks about yourself?
Howdy, neighbors. I'm Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things. If you are interested in videos on marketing for authors, I have a whole playlist of them on my channel. It's not just me doing the videos, it's also BC Brown and the Courtney Project and Hearth Breathings, Sarah Cannon, and Lisa Daly, a bunch of author tubers, all with their 2 cents to put in regarding marketing for authors. And you should drop by sometime. I would love to see you.
Absolutely. You totally should. All of those are, Sako's channel is very easy. Her name is right here on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, all of her links are down below for her channel, her coffee, her Twitch, her everything is down there. So go check it out. Mine are down there as well. And yeah, so you guys know me. I'm BC. This is BC Brown Books. If you didn't know where you were, just checking. It's early my time. May not be for you, but it's my time early. So Yeah, we just got weird about words like we usually do. We wrote them. We talked about writing them. We talked about a bunch of other stuff too, that's what I love chats. They get off on these tangents sometimes, but we all learn stuff about them or from those tangents, and it's great. And again, like writers, we just squirrel away that information, and I'm sure we're going to use it at some point. Okay, don't forget that I also stream writing sprints on Twitch, BC Brown Books. It's pretty easy. On Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at 7:30 to 7:30 to 9:30 Mountain. That is 10:30 till noon 30 Eastern time. Okay.
Yep.
So we will see you all next week here on Friday, same time, same bat channel. But you can also come and see me on Twitch on Tuesday and Thursday. Thank you so much, weirdos, for coming out. Really did appreciate having everybody. Much love to everybody as well. Woo! Lots of woos, lots of rock-ons and loves. Again, thank you for coming out. Really do appreciate all of you. Love you, and bye.